Okay, so this is really just to give you a bit of an introduction of to how you can produce a podcast effectively, very, very simply. On my desktop, on my laptop, here's Audacity down here. So I'm just going to open it up. Now, what I would do is so that you can sort of get things to work as you want them to in terms of getting what you want, is I've opened Audacity. What I'm then going to do is open up the PowerPoint again, the one that basically I'm creating. Sorry, it's just go away. And what you can do is actually then get hold of PowerPoint. I'm just going to open it up. This is what I'm going to do an audio of. So all I'm going to do is have that open on one side and then have Audacity open at the same time. And then really simply, all you need to do is toggle between them and to record what you want to say. So I can get this one next to the other, and all I'm going to do is hit record. I'm going to do a bit of an introduction. I'll do one or two of the first slides. And the main thing here, the main thing to remember is to indicate to the students when it is you want them to move forward a slide. So hit record. It's now recording. You can see that it's got a trace of my voice as I'm talking. So I'm just going to sort of make a few comments about, this being a presentation about using social media in academia. And is going to cover some of the basic ideas of how to do that. And now you need to go to slide 2. And I'm now going to go through and explain some of the content here. So why use the internet? There's lots of users. There's a lot of websites, etc., etc. Carry on doing that. And then now you need to go on to slide 3. And then I could carry on talking like that. So all I'm doing is I'm if you like, lecturing, for want of a better word, each of the slides, going through the core information and then signaling to students when they have to move on to the next slide. And then once I've done all of that and it's complete, then I'll just expand it so you've got the whole thing. Once I've finished, I just press stop. What I then do is go to File, Save Project as. Okay, not an audio file. You need to go to Export. So let's just go, you can save it so you've got it and come back to it. I'm just going to go straight to Export. And I want to export it as an MP3. Now, the reason for using MP3 is that it's a fairly universal file format. You can use it on Mac, you can use it on Windows, etc. To export as MP3, file name, session 1, using social media in academia. Okay, I'm going to go to desktop. Phil, I think it is. There we go. Documents, doctoral research development. So I'm just going to go back to where I'm now, where I'm going to keep stuff. This new folder thing is where the original PowerPoint happens to live. So I now save it. Okay. And now I should have a usable and finished product. I'm not going to save the project. I'm happy with it, although you might want to if you want to come back to it later. And then all I do is I go back to my session, build content, item, podcast to use with PowerPoint slides. please open both PowerPoint presentation and MP3 file at the same time to listen to the commentary. Browse the computer, documents, .resdev, new folder, and there you can see social media, and now what I've got is an MP3 file. Just click on that. I want to track number of views just to see how many people are using it, having said that they want stuff online. And there you go, here's the podcast. I can now move that above the reading thing if I want, just dragging it up. And now that means I can download the PowerPoint. Sorry, just get rid of this. Don't worry about that. And social media. And there you go. So basically, it's now running in the background. I've got the PowerPoint slide. It means that you don't have to worry about editing it all together. They're just separate files. And there you go. You've now got, if you've got sort of 3 or 4 citations that they then have to go and find online through the online library, you now have a complete basic session, i.e. session 1, and then all you would do is go through session 2, and obviously session 1, and then you give it a title or whatever so they knew exactly what they were looking at. But that means that you can now build a whole series of very simple sessions just by utilizing PowerPoints you've already got, bits of reading list you've already got, and the only thing that you're then adding in is that use of Audacity, which hopefully is a really quite simple app for you to use, or piece of software for you to use. And then all you're doing, in the same way as you've dropped the PowerPoint in, you're dropping that in as well. Now, the only thing you might want to add is, obviously this is great, but what happens if what they're looking at is quite complex, or you're a bit worried that they may not have understood something, or you want to check their understanding? Well, what you can then do is to then think about how you build in something else. So I'm going to suggest that one of the things you can do is have a discussion board. So click on discussion board. There's some already. I'm going to create a new forum. Session 1, COVID sessions, session 1, social media. In this discussion board, we would like you to discuss your views on the possible advantages and disadvantages of using social media to further your research agenda. Sorry, don't worry about this. Just need to get rid of it. Basically, it's something to do with Screencast-O-Matic. Please leave ideas in the discussion board. Available, yes. Forum settings, standard view. There's no point playing around with that. No marking, that's fine. Allow members to subscribe to the forum, just all of the default settings, and then there's a submit. You've got that there, highlighted. Next. submit. And now down here you have session 1 and a discussion board. So if you click on that, then basically you can create a thread. Why I like using social media. You could be the first person into something like this. And there you go. Why I like using social media. People can then sort of go in. They can then sort of basically reply. So I haven't said anything there. I mean, obviously, so why I like using social media, I have a message. I think it's really friendly, something like that, submit. And then what that means is that somebody that can then reply to me and we can get a discussion going. And what you can do then, and what you should do is if you have a discussion board, sorry, this is in the way, don't worry about it, just a local thing, issue that I've got. One of the things that you should do, however, is if you're going to use one of these, is that you need to go in on a regular basis and moderate. So if people are beginning to put threads together, you might go in and comment or ask questions. If you go into a discussion board that is almost, if you like, sort of, where there's a right or a wrong answer, then you might want to give feedback so that if you're beginning to see misconceptualizations, if there's a number of people who are misunderstanding things, then you can put them right, or you may even decide that you want to do another short PowerPoint and MP3 beyond it to deal with people's misconceptions. But that very much depends on what the focus of the discussion board is about, etc. Obviously, one of the things you can do is see who's involved, see how many people are getting involved. And it may be that if not many people are doing it, that's fine. If it may be that if not many people are doing it, you want to email people and sort of say, come on, there's a discussion board. We need more people to take part. So hopefully these 2 videos have given you an idea of how to just create some very basic online materials and repurpose certainly your own PowerPoints and your reading lists from face to face with just the addition of a simple podcast approach, which then allows people to get hold of the information very easily. I haven't tried it, but it may also be that this works perfectly well on Blackboard Mobile, which students should be able to download very easily, and therefore they may even be able to do this on their phones, which might be even better for them in some cases. So yeah, hope this has helped. If there's anything that you're not sure about, or anything that you feel isn't very well explained and you're confused, just drop me an email and I'll see what I can do to help.